Mm-hmm. The stupid thing is not... Well, we're going to try it like this, Landon, and see if it works. I don't know if it's going to, but we're going to try it. Let's see if we're streaming. Oh, we're live. Okay, so we are live, and we are going to... Give me a second while I figure out what I'm doing. I'm only a little bit crazy today. Okay? Can you see that good enough? Yeah, because I'm having some trouble getting it to... On my what? That's okay. Can you see just see the screen? Like if I put it like this, can you see that good enough?
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fine right there? Okay. So we are going to talk... I want to show you something first. How many times is it going to make me log into this? Like, for real, I've already logged in like 3 times. Oh, no. I don't know what it was doing. Okay, so I want to show you this on... let me make sure it's actually switched over, and it hasn't. I want to show you this on Buzz for a minute. Okay? So on Buzz, up here, I clicked the wrong one. When you open up your class, which I know this is 4th period and you're 6th period, but it doesn't matter, they're the same. Okay? When you open up your class, you're going to have this agenda, right? So, like if you missed a day last week, and you need to know what that was, but it's already Monday and I've already flipped to the new week, you can switch your agenda day right here. So you can just click the little calendar and then go to the day you missed. Say you missed Wednesday. So you can go click on Wednesday, and then it'll show you what the assignment for Wednesday was for that. Okay? So that way, if you're missing something, you can always go back in the agenda. At least through to back last week. That's when I did it for sure, right? But we are going to look at today. And today what our plan is, we're a little bit behind where I've meant to be, because we should have done compound inequalities last week, but we didn't. So that's what we're going to do today, is do compound inequalities. Okay? So I'm going to teach you a little bit about compound inequalities. Let me switch over to this. Okay. So when I say it's not working. Hey, although you can't see. Okay, so if I'm right where you can't see, you gotta let me know. Okay, so let's learn a little something about compound inequalities. So if you are watching this video and that just took me forever and a day, I'm sorry. I'm having technical issues all day long today. Okay, compound inequalities. What's your best guess as to what that means, Landon? What do you think compound inequalities would mean? Best guess. All right, let's back it up a little bit. What is compound? Have you ever heard that word before? Compound? Where have you heard it at? Okay, what about compound words? You ever heard of compound words? Compound sentences? What's a compound sentence? So, like, if I put 2 sentences together, like, I will have duty and eat my lunch. That's a compound sentence. Or if I say, I'm going to the store, or I can take a nap. That's a compound sentence, right? A compound sentence and a compound inequality can be joined by and or. It's when you have 2, but you join them by and or. Okay? So like a compound inequality could be something like x is greater than 3 or x is less than 12. Or, right? Or, nope, I'm sorry, my bad. This would actually be and. And let's talk about why this would be and. This would be and because x would be greater than 3 or less than 12. So like this scenario would be something like, you ever played t-ball or anything like that? You know how they have leagues, and in the leagues, like the youngest age group will be like 3-year-olds and the oldest age group will be like 12, and then they'll be split up into different teams, you know what I'm saying? So if we had this age group where you had to be older than 3, so 3 doesn't count, right? But you had to be younger than 12, so 12 doesn't count, right? But if you fit in between these two, any of these numbers in here, that works. That means it's and. It has to be bigger than 3 and less than 12. It has to fit both criteria. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, we also have these that are ors. So like x is less than 5 or x is greater. You can't see that, can you? You gotta watch for that, remember? You're my eyes out there. Or x is greater than 60. So let's say, for example, and I don't think this is a thing, but I'm just going to make this up, okay? So let's say iJump has this policy that if you are under 5 years old, you can jump for free. Because they don't feel like 5-year-olds will really use the equipment very much, right? So anybody who's, now 5 doesn't count, right? Because it's not or equal to. Anybody who's under 5 can jump for free. But they also let 60-year-olds jump for free. Okay? Landon, does a 30-year-old get to jump for free? No, why not? Where are they at? In the middle. The two ends are work. Now, can you be 5 and 60 at the same time? No. So it's an or. You're this or you're that. Does that make sense? So we have two types of compound inequalities. We have and we have or. And compound inequalities mean it's within a range, right? Or compound inequalities mean it's this or that, one of the two. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, sometimes compound inequalities can be written, say let's take x is greater than 3 and x is less than 12. Sometimes we can write them with one x. So when we do this, we put our lower limit on one end, we put our x in the middle, we put our upper limit on the other end, and then we just put the symbols going from the x. So this is x is greater than 3, right? So we would do, oops, my bad, x is greater than 3. Remember how we talked about how reading that from the x? And this is x is less than 12. So we would do less than 12, right? That's all one statement, but we can just read from the x and go both ways. So this says x is less than 12 and x is greater than 3. Does that make sense? You need to get up a minute and walk around? You look like you're about to sleep. Okay. Shake it off. Shake it off. Okay. Now, sometimes you're asked to solve compound inequalities that are written like this, but you got to solve them. Solving them means you're going to split them up into two parts. So if we have like x plus 5, and on this side of x plus 5 we have 3, and on this side of x plus 5 we have 12, right? This x plus 5 that's in the middle of the two signs, it goes with both of them. So we actually would write it as 3 is greater than x plus 5, and x plus 5 is greater than 12. See how it goes with both sets? And then we would just solve this. So we've been working on that solving thing, right? So what would you do, Landon, to get this x by itself? So I've got my line right here, right?
So you do
minus 5. That's right. Good job. So that 5's gone. What am I left with over here? And then what do I have over here? What's 3 minus 5? -2. Good. Over here, we're going to put our line, right? What are we going to do to get rid of x by itself? That's subtract 5. That's right. Good. Look at you learning stuff. And then we don't flip the sign, do we? Because we didn't multiply or divide by a negative. And what's 12 minus 5? 7. So our answer is that x can be less than negative 2 or x can be greater than 7, right? It can be one or the other. So if we wanted to write it as 1, we would put an x in the middle, negative 2 at this end and 7 at that end, right? So x has to be less than, see I'll put the little n towards the x, less than negative 2, or x is greater than 7, and that's my answer. Does that make sense? Think you can do some of these? Okay, I'm going to let you work, all right? Yep, you'll get your Chromebook out. I'm going to stop